All right, guys, so I'm happy you're here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Brianna Beers, Brie to my friends, and I own Lipa Beers and Associates. We help small businesses and individuals with tax prep and tax planning. Tax planning is our jam because it's our opportunity to strategize with our clients and help them minimize their annual tax burden and keep that extra cash so they can invest it into themselves or back into their business. You guys could be watching this in a variety of places, but if it's not in our awesome Facebook community, Money, Taxes, and Finance for small business owners, then you should definitely hop on over there because this group is amazing. It's such a supportive community, and I just love everyone in that group. For those of you that are watching in Money, Taxes, and Finance and you're new, just let you know, Monday at 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time every week is our normal training day. Today is the last part of our new business series, part 6, and we are talking about bookkeeping softwares and systems. So I'm really excited to jump into that. Before we do, I do want to tell you guys that last week's workshop, if you guys were kind of keeping track, and how could you not? I was talking about it all the time because I'm so excited about it. It went fantastic. Those of you that joined me, thank you. You were amazing and so interactive with me. It made it so much better and so much easier to be a part of. I've gotten such great feedback and DMs and emails, so thank you guys. I really appreciate it. One more housekeeping item, you guys. So Kelly, Vincent, and Jamie Troll and I are all working on something really big for you guys, for you small business owners. For those of you that took the PPP loan and, there was that forgiveness piece, well, the application for forgiveness came out on Friday. It was released late on Friday. So Kelly and Jamie and I have been working crazy hard this weekend. Kelly and Jamie are amazing, by the way. Like, they Excel spreadsheets are not my area of genius, and those two have built a worksheet that is will make anyone jealous. It's amazing. But it's a worksheet to help you fill out your PPP forgiveness application. Because you guys, it's like a tax return. It's pretty intense. There's the application, but then there's all the supporting worksheets. It reads very much like a tax return. So for those of you that took the PPP and are looking to get as much of it maximize your forgiveness amount, we will have that PPP forgiveness application tool available really, really soon. All right, so today we're talking about your bookkeeping software or systems. So the very first place to start, you guys, if you aren't already into some sort of online accounting software, is at the very, very least, you want to start with a spreadsheet to track your income and expenses. So a spreadsheet is going to work best, you guys, honestly, only for very new businesses or small businesses that have few transactions or maybe just only recurring transactions. All right, the benefit to using a spreadsheet is obviously cost, right? If you use Google Sheets, it's free. Or if you already have Office Suite, then you're going to have access to Excel, and you can just use that. But the cons to using a spreadsheet, you guys, it's very manual. You have to look at your bank statement, and you have to either, you have to cut and paste into your spreadsheet, or you have to manually be adding them into your spreadsheet. And because of that manual process, there's a lot of opportunity for errors, all right? Whether it's copy and paste errors, typing errors, formula errors if you're using formulas. And honestly, once you get past just having a couple transactions a month, it's going to become time consuming, all right? And that is the one thing we really, really want to help you avoid in this group, is learning tools and tricks and strategies so that bookkeeping and tracking your finances and keeping your financials in order isn't a daunting chore or task. If you guys have been around a while, you know that your financial statements are a tool for you. They're a tool to help you gain control of your business, a tool to help you grow your business and see where you're at and see where you want to go. But if you dread your bookkeeping so much that your financial statements and your finances are never up to date, then they're not a tool, right? And they actually become, a chore, an obstacle, and that we don't want them to be that. Or we don't want them to be an obstacle. A spreadsheet is definitely better than nothing, definitely better than, trying to keep it all in your head, but it's the first stepping stone, okay? I want you guys to only think of it typically as a temporary place to be. There's very few established businesses that have so little activity that a spreadsheet still works for them. So the next step after a spreadsheet, you guys, would be some sort of accounting software. Your accounting software is going to streamline the accounting and bookkeeping process. And it's going to save you time. It's going to make it easier for you to track your income and expenses. And it's just one of many steps that you can take to, again, transforming that money and financial burden into a tool that you use in your business. All right, the great things, there are so many cloud-based softwares out there right now, and those cloud-based softwares allow you or your employees to handle accounting at any given time, right? I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how long you've been in business, but you think back to when you had QuickBooks desktop and you didn't have all the remote access, right? So you had to have your work machine in order to do your finances. I don't know if any of you have been established that long, but so you'd be at home and you'd have to either carry your laptop around, or it was just, it's cumbersome. So now you can access it anywhere. And a lot of the platforms now even have apps. So you can, do it easily from your phone. It's fantastic. If you guys have any sort of accounts receivable, accounts payable, or again, just a high number of transactions you're dealing with, some sort of accounting system is a must. A must. Okay. So there's a lot of choices out there, right? There's QuickBooks Online, there's Xero, there's FreshBooks, there's Zoho, there's Wave. So what do you use? QuickBooks Online. All right, this is the one I'm the most familiar with. It's the one that we use for my business personally. It's the one for our in-house bookkeeping clients that we still have, which are very few. We have partners that now do most of our bookkeeping for our clients, but most of them are on QuickBooks. Second place is Xero. We do have a handful of clients that also use Xero, but most of our clients use some sort of QuickBooks, whether it's QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online. All right, and QuickBooks Online, you guys, let me back up. So a lot of people hesitate on getting an accounting software for two reasons. One, they don't know how to use it and they are scared to learn how to use it, or they don't think they're going to know how to use it, right? They're just scared of that learning curve. Oh, Jamie's here. Jamie, we were talking about you earlier. Hey, girl. And two, cost, right? As a new business, you are watching your pennies. You're very conscientious of where all of your dollars are going, right? But with an accounting software, I want you to think of it as an investment. Anything else, think about it. As a new business owner, you have those expenses where you have to spend money, right? You can't run a business without spending money, but you do have to be picky about where you spend your money. I firmly believe that a bookkeeping system, and for me, some sort of accountant, bookkeeper, CPA, whatever, is a must. And we'll talk about it a little more in depth in a second. But let me talk about the cost, you guys. So QuickBooks. So there's QuickBooks Self-Employed, and that is going to be perfect for a lot of you out there. If you have those side hustles, the gig workers, right? If you're a Uber driver or a Lyft driver or Uber, is it Uber Eats? Yeah. Anything like that, where you're just, you're going to get that income. You're just like, okay, I know I can deduct some expenses, but I don't really know how that works. QuickBooks Self-Employed is a great place to start. It's $10 a month, you guys. That's 2 lattes at Starbucks. And actually, we partner with a company that we essentially get wholesale pricing through, and we can get QuickBooks Self-Employed. You can get it for $5 a month for the first 12 months. However, you guys, with QuickBooks Self-Employed, it is for a very specific group of people. Okay, and you do not want to get into QuickBooks Self-Employed if you need something bigger, because it is the only QuickBooks program that you can't just upgrade to a different QuickBooks product. All right. The QuickBooks Online. So if you go online right now and you just get the basic product, I think it's like $25 a month. The basic is $25. I can't remember. You think I know this by now. We can get the middle. God, I think it's essentials. We can get that QuickBooks Online for $25 a month. We can also, for the first year, with the link I have there, you guys, we can get it for $12.50 a month for 12 months, or you can pay $135 up front for the first year. So we can get a lot of really good pricing. It's better pricing than you can get online. It always is. And I tell you those first 12 month prices because that's all we can guarantee those prices for. There are always chances that it'll be extended, but we can't promise that. But it's definitely the most inexpensive way to get your hands on one of these QuickBooks products. And we offer it. We don't mark it up or anything, because for us, we just want you to have the right tools to do the job. That's not where we make our money. A lot of bookkeepers and a lot of accountants do, and that's totally fine. Like, I have nothing against it. That's what wholesale is meant for. But for us, we just want to get the right tools in your hands. So this is the cheapest way for you to do that. All right, if you just do not want to use QuickBooks or QuickBooks Online, that is not your jam, then there is also online, or cloud options. There's Xero, there's FreshBooks, there's Zoho, there's Wave. I've used Xero. It's fine. I haven't used the other ones too much. So I am a QuickBooks girl, not because it's perfect or great. It's just what is used the most out there. And so another perk to it is if you do want to hire a bookkeeper down the road, you're going to have a lot easier time finding a QuickBooks Online or even a QuickBooks Desktop bookkeeper than you are for some of these other programs, just because there's so many of them. All right. Adana says, are there any advantages to QuickBooks Desktop over QuickBooks Online? Yes. And I think we actually might have done a training on this. I will go back and look in the archives and see and paste the link, but I'm pretty sure we did a comparison a few months ago, like close to a year ago. I'll dig that up for you and post the link here. Okay, so the next step. So you have those of you that are still in spreadsheet, that's kind of like step one. And then step two is getting a software, an accounting software in place. And next, you guys, is hire a bookkeeper or CPA. So if you go back, and I believe it is the March 9th episode, we did a training called Are You Ready to Hire a Bookkeeper? And we went into this in depth. So if you already have an accounting software in place, and you just don't want to do the bookkeeping anymore, or you're like, I'm not doing this, I'm making a mess of it, I need somebody, then you want to make sure when you're hiring a bookkeeper that it's someone who knows and understands the software you're using. So again, if you're using QuickBooks Online, you're not going to have a problem finding someone who is familiar with it. If you're using, Xero, FreshBooks, Zoho, Wave, anything else, you might need to dig a little deeper to find a bookkeeper or an accountant who can use those softwares. I also want to make sure you vet your person. Don't just pick the first one on a list, okay? You want to make sure that they know your industry, that they understand how your business works, because there are a lot of bookkeepers out there, you guys, but there are not a lot of good bookkeepers out there, okay? And what I mean, you don't have to have any certification, any sort of experience to say you're a bookkeeper, okay? So you don't want this to be a frivolous decision, all right? Because if you're just like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you might end up with a really, really shoddy bookkeeper, and then you're gonna have a bad taste in your mouth, and then you're gonna be like, forget it, I gotta do this on my own, and you're gonna end up running that whole gamut again. All right, so do your due diligence. And again, if you go back to Are You Ready to Hire a Bookkeeper, that training, I think you'll find some helpful information there. That said, if you don't yet have an accounting software, then I would find an accountant or bookkeeper that you like, that knows your industry, that's a good fit, and then let them advise you on the software that they want to use for your business. All right, and sometimes a bookkeeper will what they'll do is they'll wrap the cost of the software into your bookkeeping package pricing, or they're going to be able to get the software at a discounted price. Like I said, we talked about at the beginning, like we have the lowest price for QuickBooks or QuickBooks Online. They might have something as well, okay? And then finally, if all else fails, we actually have a Books with Beers program. What that means is we've already vetted there's 10 now. We've vetted 10 bookkeepers that we know their stuff. All right. And so we can make referrals for you for those bookkeepers. All right. So that was the next step. And the last thing I want to talk about today, you guys, when it comes to bookkeeping software and systems, is a mileage tracker. If you do any sort of driving for your business, you absolutely want to get a mileage tracker in place. Because your mileage is a deductible expense, meaning it decreases your taxable income, okay? But A, you need to actually know how many miles you're driving in order to make them deductible. And B, if you ever were to get audited, I hate saying that word, but if you were to ever get audited, they are going to want records to support the deductions you're taking. And mileage tracking applications or spreadsheets of any sort are a great way, to do this. So my husband uses Mileage IQ, but there's tons out there, right? So Mileage IQ is great because you can actually, if you set it up to push notifications, then every time you get home, it's going to tell you this is where you drove. These are the stops you made. Tell us if it's business or personal. And it's kind of like, is it Tinder where you swipe right, swipe left? It's like that where you're like, okay, you swipe one way for personal, swipe one way for business. And then at the end of the year, it'll tell you your total mileage. And if you ever needed to print out a log, you are able to do that as well. So any sort of apps, again, they're a great tool. If you are not an app person, and I know you're out there, then there's a couple other options you have as well. You can keep a spreadsheet, kind of like, and similar to how we talked about, you can keep your expenses on a spreadsheet. You could also keep your mileage on a spreadsheet. And then I know other people who just keep a notebook in their car, or they keep a piece of paper in their visor, and every time they drive, they log their mileage. The important things being you need to say where you're going, how many miles you drove, and a description of like what, did you meet a client? Who was it? Were you going supply shopping? Just a description of how it's business related. All right. That's not really a bookkeeping software. The application is why it fits into this new series, part 6. So we look good on questions. Let's see. All right. So you guys, again, just to recap, so the bookkeeping software and system. So at the very least, you're going to use an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet, some sort of sheet to track all of your income and expenses. That is a minimum. All right. What we prefer you do is use some sort of accounting software. As soon as your finances allow, we want you to hire some sort of bookkeeper or accountant. All right. Because then that works into your software and systems portion, because it all works together, right? You have a bookkeeper who knows your accounting software and is able to create finances that can later be used as a tool for you to help grow your business. And then a mileage tracker. All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions. As always, I'm going to tell you to tag me if you are watching us on replay and you have questions or comments. It's the best way to ensure that I see it. Otherwise, we will see you guys on Wednesday at 2:00 Mountain Time here for our tips and tricks weekly training here. I do want to remind you that this week is our monthly training over on my Lipa Beers and Associates business page. For those of you that may or may not follow me different places. So if you're watching it on money, taxes, and finance, we're business, focused here. On my Lipa Beers and Associates business page, I try to also address more of the personal tax questions that are available and the tax topics. So that's what we'll be talking about on Wednesday at 2:30 Mountain Time over on Lipa Beers and Associates PC's page. And then Friday, right back here at 2:00 Mountain Standard Time, is our weekly updates and Q&A. So there it all is. So I will see you guys Wednesday. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday. And if you are somewhere where there's good weather, go enjoy this weather. All right. Have a good one, guys.